Recording. Hey guys, welcome to the 101 in 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world 101 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson, and I'm back on the scene with a new independent artist. She has this fun loving style. I love her music. I love her style. She has this pop type of sound, but she also has this a little bit of a rock influence as well when you hear her music. I like her musicality. I like her music. It talks about abstract things that we can all relate to. And it's just beautiful just hearing her songwriting through her music, her storytelling through her music. Well, without further ado, help me welcome Brittany Sword to the show. Thank you
Hey.
so much, Brittany, for being on the 101 and 10. And can you tell the fans how did you get started as an artist and what are your musical influences?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on. This is really awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm all over the board. I think anymore, like everybody, you ask them like, what's their favorite genre, and they're like, I listen to everything. I'm kind of the same way. So like the older influences and stuff, like where I started was probably more like, the classics, so a lot of like classical music, anything on the radio. My dad was like way into like funk rock and blues rock and that type of stuff. So hugely
Mhm.
influenced by that too. But more recently, I've been getting into like the Backseat Lovers and Beach Bunny and Young the Giant and Coin and that kind of stuff. I'm kind of like liking that newer like take on this like funk style almost. So kind of into that. But yeah, so I guess yeah, getting into it. I love music, so I just had to do it.
Love it. Now, you did talk a little bit about your dad having some influence when it comes to his bluegrass type of music that he kind of had you just listen to as a kid growing up. Now, how did you start in the industry? Did you start with playing the guitar or did you start as a songwriter?
Yeah, so like the earliest memories that I have are like when I was like 7 and I would just like run around playing and and music was just in my head and I hadn't heard it before. It wasn't just like songs that I heard. It was just like in there and it's like, oh yeah, this song fits with whatever I'm doing right now. So I just kind of had that as a kid. And then yeah, so sorry, I think I'm off track a little bit of what your
Oh,
question was.
no, you on track. I was asking you,
Okay.
how did you start it? No, it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So yeah, so kind of did that and then like my parents forced us to play piano and like I you know how that is. They're like, "Okay, you got to play an instrument." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So we learned piano. I'm one of 7 kids.
Okay.
So we all learned how to play. And the deal was you had to learn for like 2 years and then you could kind of do whatever you wanted after that. So, very thankful though that I had that because I got to learn how to read music and, had more of a classical training on that. And so I understand more music theory better than if I would have just grabbed something and gone at it myself. So, but I gravitated more towards guitar like right after piano. My brother had got like a cheap, crappy guitar. I don't even know what kind of guitar it was. Just like some off-brand guitar. It had like an 8-ball sticker on it. Just an acoustic guitar they got at a pawn shop. And so I just kind of started messing around with that, learned how to read tabs, and really really like guitar. And my grandpa is a like bluegrass kind of Chet Atkins style guitar player, and so I just remember sitting there as a little girl just watching and like, oh my gosh, this is amazing and I want to do that. So I really gravitated towards the guitar. I still play piano a little bit, but when I go to write, I'm pretty much always on my guitar, or I just come up with lyrics, and I've always sang, so
No, I love the fact that you come from this musical family because I don't know too many parents. Like my parents would never said just start. You can play the piano. I wish I could have learned how to play the piano as a kid growing up. I didn't get that opportunity. So that's amazing how your parents actually are musicians. So and your grandfather as well. So it kind of runs through your blood. And I love the fact that you said that when you first started in really hearing the music and started really making music, it started in your head first, and then you were able to kind of naturally just put it together as this singer songwriter that you are. I think your music is very organic and it's just very unique. And I love your style as
Oh,
well as an
thank you.
artist. You're on the right track. So whatever you're doing, you're doing the right thing. I just wanted to give you some confirmation in
All right.
regards to that. So let's talk a little bit about your challenges as an artist. And since we're at the end of the year, can you share with us some of your success stories for 2022 and also your challenges as well as an artist?
Yeah, so I think anytime that you're doing something like independently, it always, for me at least, comes back to like the financial side of it. So like when you're going to do a project, it costs a lot of money to record a song. And at my gigs and stuff, I'm right now I'm actually crowdfunding for a new song that I'm working on. And I always tell them like it's minimum of $1,500 for a song. Like you're talking one song,
Right.
and if you put together a whole album, you might be looking at 10 to 20 grand just to put that out. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize, and especially because if you're listening to bigger artists, they have a label behind them where independent, we don't. Or if we are on a label, we might be on a small label. For me, I'm just DIY, so it's whatever I bring in, and it's kind of up to me,
Right.
which is really cool because then I have the final say because I'm a little bit of a control freak like that. Like this is the way I want it, so I get to
Yeah.
say. But yeah, so as far as like the challenges, it's usually that, and then the really cool things that have been going on like this year. So I don't know if you know this about me, but I quit my day job during COVID, like during the lockdown, and I was like, hey, let's go play live shows because that makes sense. Because like everything was shut down.
Yeah.
So, but it ended up working out like in my
Wow.
favor. So I was like, okay, this was really cool. So when things did open up, I was one of the first people like asking like, hey, I'm ready to play shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was able to get my foot in, I think early that way. So I'm getting booked a lot. So I'm more of a live performer. I like that aspect a lot. I like recording too, but yeah, the live side is a lot of fun. So yeah, so this year I was able to play a pretty big music festival. Like, I mean, it was not like a maybe a huge one, but like for me, it was fairly larger. So I was pretty excited about that. That was like a month ago. It was Hennyville.
That's, oh
Um,
wow. That's good.
yeah,
She has a lot of people that come to that.
yeah. There
Yeah.
were several hundred. I think we
Yes.
maybe were tipping 1,000 or something like
That's
that. But
that's
I
pretty
mean,
good. That's good. That's a lot of
yeah.
people.
Yeah, and it was just a blast, and like I'm so used to playing like the gigs like on my own, and so I was with like all these other musicians, and it was just such a great atmosphere to be with like-minded people, and I just whenever I get to like meet another musician, I'm just like, oh my gosh, we could talk for hours. you know?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and it
Yeah,
opens up so many opportunities as well because you're on this stage with these other artists as well, and it opens you up to a whole new family. So that is like congratulations that you, out of all the independent artists, you were one of the ones to be picked to be a part of that festival. So that's a very huge success. So kudos to you, my
yeah,
dear.
thank you.
Welcome. And I love the fact that you were talking about, you kind of just put yourself out there and you just kind of went on that energy or saying this is what I want to do, and you didn't worry about it and you just put it out there, and then the universe allowed for great things to come back to you in so many ways, because when things opened back up you were one of the first people they were asking to do gigs and live performances and things of that nature as well. So congratulations to you, Brittany, because I know it's been very challenging for all artists to really persevere throughout COVID for the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. So I'm glad that you were able to continue to strive through and overcome such adversity
Yeah,
as well.
thank you.
You
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, that time was so weird because it seemed to be, oh, sorry, my alarm's going off.
Sorry.
So yeah, it seemed to be that like, it shut the door for a lot of things, but I just saw opportunity everywhere. I was like, as soon as things
Love
open
it.
up, it's gonna be roaring 20s all over again. Like,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. I love it. And I love the fact that you said you saw opportunity in the midst of all that happening. And that's what I want you guys to learn. You have to see the positive in a negative situation. And a lot of times when we're going through COVID and it was shut down for such a long period of time, people just kept on hearing all negative stuff. And it takes a very a positive mindset to still see a positive even in a negative time period. And when you consistently see that, the universe will respond to you, and then you too can have the same type of opportunity just like Brittany has as well. So thank you so much for being such an inspiration to so many younger artists and newer artists out there as well, that is actually trying to strive to get to where you're at, because you have really done some amazing things in your musical career. Now let's talk just a little bit about your music. Now I know that you have a song called Colors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. What is your musical say creative process when it comes to you creating these music? Because your songs vary from one thing to the next, so it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like in Color Blind sounds much differently than Color. So what is the creative process?
Yeah, that is the question. So it's always different. I think anytime I go into a writing session, I'm like, I'm here to serve the song. So
Mhm.
whatever that song needs, and it might be, I might try to flip things on its head every once in a while. I might go in with an idea that I'm like, okay, the lyrics are going to be happy, but the music is going to sound sad, or vice versa, or the lyrical content and the music behind it, like, are they complementing each other, or are we trying to uh comically mash heads or something like
Right,
that?
right,
So
right.
but yeah, I usually try to think about like flow of the song, and um when I sit down and I write, sometimes like it'll just all come out, and that's usually the best, because it's like, oh, you didn't have to hardly think, it just kind of fell out of you. And those are a lot of times like some of the best song, like I think Colorblind was that way. And I wrote that one years ago, and just, because of the funding side of it, wasn't able to record anything. But I think that was a good thing, because the song developed as I played it live. And so I heard more things with that. And it's kind of funny, because all the other songs on there, I like went over and over and over again, and like we added more stuff. And then that song is just the three piece. It's just drums, bass, guitar, and vocal. That's it. And it's like probably one of my favorites on there.
Colorblind is my favorite, to be honest with you.
Oh, thank you.
I love that song. So, guys, you have to go to Brittany's website. Brittany, can you please let the fans know what's your website, how they can book you, and how they can connect with you on social media as well?
Yeah, so BrittanySword.com is going to have like everything. So my store, dates that I'm playing, all of my new music, crowdfunding if there's that going on. I am crowdfunding right now for the song Johnny, which is more of a folk tune. And then I have all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So wherever you guys are on social, just look for Brittany Sword Music and you can find me there.
Well, beans, and thank you so much, Brittany Sword, for being on our show. And thank you, One on One and Tenors, for watching this episode of the One on One and Ten. Continue to shine bright, because you never know what new artists we're going to have on the next episode. So you got to stay tuned and continue to be positive, continue to spread love and joy and peace. Have a happy holiday, everyone, and see you next time. Bye.